Good afternoon, everyone. It's me, Miss Gabby, and welcome to another episode of Camp Out Home Chill with our summer art session. I'm really excited because today we're going to be working on a cool, like, mini little wall hanging, just made out of yarn, and all we need is like some cardboard. So it's very simple, and let's just jump right in and get started. I do want to make a huge shout out to General Motors for being our summer sponsor. You know, without them, we wouldn't be able to have like a lot of our art tutorials, you know, for free. So we have like this huge archive already of so many different art tutorials that you can check out on our Facebook, YouTube, or our Instagram. So let's just jump right in. So this is like my mini wall hanging. And I have this sample here too. And I'm going to show you how we can get started with that. So what you'll need today is some cardboard, and I cut this cardboard down to about 5 by 7. So, you know, you can make them any size you want. Like you saw, this one was a little smaller. And you'll need some scissors, a few sticks, you know, to finish off our wall hanging, and some yarn. I have some here. So if you're thinking about a certain way to do it, it'll be easy, you know, if you have like a variety of yarn or in like styles or colors, you know, like thicknesses, anything like that. You can have a ruler today and some tape just in case, if we need that, you know, but there's ways to do it all too. And, you know, it's optional, but if you have, like a needle, like a thick needle, like, this is like super helpful too, but it's very simple and very easy to do this by just your fingers and your hand, like no knitting really involved. So let us get started. I'm just gonna take my pencil and I have a ruler here, and since like I already cut this down to 5 by 7, I want to make some slits on both sides of our cardboard. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just go a 1/2 inch in here, and I'm just gonna make 1/2 inch marks on my cardboard. So we'll work the whole way. You don't have to do 1/2 inch marks. You can do maybe inch marks if you'd like, but this is just easy to remember. So I'm gonna put that aside. I'm gonna take my scissors. I'm not cutting all the way through. I'm just making a nice little 1/2 inch slit, maybe 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch. They're all going to be a little uneven, but that's okay. So now I'm going to repeat on this other side here. So basically we are making a like yarn loom here. Being kind of careful. I want to make a slit that's deep enough so we can have make our yarn, put our yarn there. So I'm gonna put that aside. So now we can go ahead and thread our loom. So you can pick any color of your yarn. So I'm gonna just pick my black yarn here, and I'm just gonna insert it into this first slit. Maybe I'll give me some extra slack on the top, and I'm gonna give me some extra slack on the bottom here. So. And it's okay because we can tie it off and tape it in the back. So you can repeat that. And voila. So I'm just going to kind of create some slack. I can even, just for the sake of time, I'm just going to go ahead and round it all out here. So just cutting. So I'm just kind of going back and forth and making my loom. So I'll just cut it here. And what I'll do is I'll just tape all of this down. You don't have to, but it can just be easy to do. And I'm just going to put that there, just so all the my pieces kind of stay together. So now we can go ahead and start threading and making our wall hanging. So I'm just going to take my first color here, and depending on how much you want to create it, if you want to do the whole thing one color or you want to switch, but I'm not going to really measure out. I'm just going to play along here. And what I want to do now is I'm just going to take it on the very end using my fingers. I'm just going to make a little knot. You can make a double knot to make sure that it doesn't come undone or anything like that. I'm gonna do a double knot. And then, so like I said, you can just go ahead and start going like over, under between each one. But I'm just, for the sake of the video and time, I'm just gonna use this needle. And I'm gonna thread it on my needle here. And I'm just gonna start. So go under, over, under, over, under, over, under. And I'll just pull it all the way through. So pulling it all the way through. And I'm gonna push it all the way to the top. So you can see here. So now, since this one is kind of over on this last part, I wanna make sure I'm gonna go under this time. So the opposite of each. And I need some help there, a little bit on the end. So you see that you can do it with your fingers, but definitely is a lot easier and a little more quick to make it with a needle. So I'm just gonna pull it tight and I'm just kind of pushing it all the way to the top here. So I'll go back. And pull it all the way through. Sometimes maybe your yarn will get caught on things. So I can put everything to the side, pulling it all the way through. And I'm not trying to pull all like super tight on the ends there, just because I don't want it to start like shifting, but I'm just gonna go ahead and keep going. And voila. So, and the tighter that you push all of your yarn and your weaving together, like, you know, our black won't show, and like you see here in my like example, like you don't really see a lot of that. So I'll just go a few more times so you can see. Pull all the way through. And go back under. Just pull it a little too tight. All the way through, so you can start to see how that's forming. And so you can keep going, and then you can tie off as well, and then you can start with a new color. So I'm just gonna, for the sake of showing, I'm just gonna go ahead and snip this a little bit, and I'm gonna tie off my blue yarn here on the end, like that. And you can definitely trim these down at the end, because I like to do that too. So now I'll show you how we can make some fun little tassels here. You see I made them in the different colors and kind of ended them out. But so I'm going to take my gray this time just to show you a little bit of diversity. And you know, I'm going to make about maybe 3 pieces of yarn, the same length, but you know, everything can always be trimmed down on the end. And so I want to make some fun little tassels there. So what I want to do is I'm going to take my 3 pieces of yarn, and I'll start on this end here. So I'm going to lift the last 2 pieces of my loom here, and I'm going to put them under. So you see that they're under. And so I'm going to just pull it up a little bit. So there's kind of like this fun little hole, this loop, and I'm going to pull from the top down through that like loop. So pull the ends through this way, and then I'm going to take this one too and do the same. So I'm going to pull them through, and now we're having a nice little tassel. We'll pull them all the way through, attached right to the loom. So I'm going to pull it tight, and I'm going to just move it up so you can adjust and have fun. So yeah, there's our first tassel here. The next I'm gonna do it again. So I'm gonna cut my yarn, 3 pieces. You can add more, you know, depending on how thick you want it, but I'm gonna take it so it attaches to so now I'm just gonna take the second and third loom piece here. So it's just going to be kind of attaching, you know, kind of overlapping. So I'm gonna take the little loop, pull it through, and then I'm gonna pull the ends through the loop. This little hole that I made here. Pull it here and here. And pull it tight. So I'm pulling it tight, nice and tight. And voila. So you can kind of, you know, finagle it a little bit, pull them a little tighter here and there. But once you really get them kind of sewed together in your wall hanging, you can kind of adjust it and have a little bit of fun. So you can even pull them one by one, these strands, really tighten everything here, depending on how you want it and how tight it will be. And you can just fix like the little loose parts there. Or if you like that certain style, you know, you can definitely keep it that way. So yeah, you can add the tassels all the way across and then continue sewing like I showed you here. So, and this is how you would get this. So you see I made a few different kinds, added some tassels on the ends here, and even in the middles of these ones. So I'll show you how we can finish off this one. So I already taped these ones to the back here. So I'm gonna just take this tape off, pull this off, and pull them off the loom here. So I'm pulling it off my loom. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just tie some nice knots here on the tops. So I'm just going down the line to make sure that my yarn doesn't unravel. This one I'll just, so I'm actually gonna have this as my top. So what I wanna do is I'm gonna take my stick. I just went outside and I found a cool stick like in the back, my backyard. And you can place it and figure out how you would want to hang. So I think I'm just going to tie it nice and round. So I'm gonna just take two here and kind of have it implemented into my weaving. So tie a nice little double knot. The same with this. Just tie it right and nice around. Like this. And the same with this one. You can definitely trim any excess yarn that you have. Like that. So there's the top. Let me just finish the bottom. I want to make sure that I will tie all these off just so my great tassels on the bottom there do not fall off. So I'm going to just take like I did on the very top, just start to make some nice little double knots, just so nothing will fall off. Same with this one, I will just tie it here. So now I'm just gonna take my scissors and I'm just gonna trim the excess yarn. And you can keep, you know, these little strands for any extra other projects that you have, or, you know, add them into other like wall hangings. And I will trim this up here too, just a bit. And now we can take some yarn and we can make a nice little wall hanging. So I'm just gonna take this because it's sitting here, and I'm gonna tie a knot on this side. So this will make it so we can hang here. Do it here. So I'm just using simple double knots throughout the whole project. And voila! Here is our wall hanging. Our awesome yarn wall hanging, and I have this one here too. Oops. So yeah, there you go. So definitely save all your pieces so you can use throughout other projects, you know, your scrap yarns, anything like that. You can give them as gift. You can trim a lot of this down too if it's a lot, because I had these really long, I trimmed them. But you know, definitely have a lot of fun. And if you followed along and you made any of your own wall hangings, please share with us, because we would love to see, and we would love to share it with our you know, entire social media. So if you have any extra like beads or anything too, that could be fun to add into everything. But definitely different types of yarn and thicknesses and types would be super cool to add into your like yarn wall hanging. So thanks for hanging out with me today, and I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you.